Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be looking at the top 5 greatest head-to-heads, greatest rivalries, all that good stuff in Smash Ultimate. Now, before we get into it, I just want to say, of course, this is my opinion. It is all subjective, and here are some sets that were honorable mentions for that top 5 spot. Spargo versus Leo, Light versus Leo, Gluto Leo, Spargo Light, Tweak Gluto, Riddles and Cola, Leo and DeBuzz, Proto Leo, Light Cola, Proto Zachary, Gluto Bloom, Esam MVD, Zachary Shootone, and Esam and Light. These were all things that are just honorable mentions because there's like so many amazing head-to-heads in Smash. The people that were probably in the contention for the top 5, most like the head-to-heads in top 5 contention, were Gluto Leo, Light Leo, Spargo Leo, and Spargo Light in no real order. But those are all just like amazing sets. Why didn't I choose them? Just again, personal preference. It's a personal list, and I like the storylines of the other ones a little bit more. And let's just get into the first one. Now, our first head-to-head is going to be Mars versus Light, the two New England boys, some of the quickest players in Ultimate, and their sets are always incredible. They have 7 total sets played at Majors, because Invitational is on here as well. I just have it at 300, so you can't see it, but they went 1-1 there, so they traded sets, and then Mars takes it, or Light takes it rather, at SmashCon. Mars takes it at Let's Make Moves and DreamHack Atlanta, and then Light takes it at EVO and the first Let's Make Moves, so this is Let's Make Big Moves. These sets are unreal because, if you don't know, they have also played a ton outside of Majors. They are 16-12 lifetime. This is an obscene amount of sets. This is an obscene amount of sets between two top 10 players especially. Like, their gameplay is just so interesting to watch because, one, they're both incredibly quick, and they're like different types of quick. Because Mars is he will camp outside of your burst range quick, and then he will react or he will punish you with a super fast option like immediately. And Light is quick where he is just like smothering you. He is like super pressuring you. He just like gets in your face. He wants to hit you. He's like making you pick bad options because he's just really scary. And the way that they play against each other, these like kind of conflicting but the same archetypes, if that makes sense. Like, they're both quick but in like the exact opposite ways. It's just so interesting to watch, and they also know their habits honestly better than any other top players do. It's like Mars versus Light, you'll just see, like, for an example, Mars will just go for a random back air and it'll hit, and Light will just go for like a random run up smash and it'll hit. Just things like that, because they have played each other so much. They know each other's habits to a T. It is just so interesting to watch them play. We haven't seen them play since the Invitational. Hopefully we'll get to see it again. And yeah, their sets are always a treat. Definitely a staple of super early Ultimate as well, which is maybe a little nostalgic for it, but I think they're 100% deserving of that top 5 spot because that rivalry between them is just incredible. Now, the next head-to-head is going to be Yoshidora versus Aquila, both of them blowing up in the post-quarantine era. This head-to-head is pretty cool for a couple reasons. The first one is it's Yoshi Steve, which is just a matchup you don't see every day, mainly because of the Yoshi part. The second one, it is Yoshidora is the only person that can challenge Aquila consistently in Japan. We obviously have Leo being able to do it a bit in the Ludwig Invitational, but that's also like only one tournament, so I imagine the run back it goes differently. Leo probably still wins, but like it goes differently at least. But Yoshidora in Japan, it feels like it's the only person that kind of understands like how to get into Aquila's head, how to actually beat him consistently, because he is 5-3 against him in tournament, 6-4 in a lifetime, or like major like 5-3, like over 200 entrants, and then 6-4 in a lifetime. So they trade sets a ton, even though Aquila has won the last 3 in a row. Like, it is just like the sets are so close. The way Yoshidora moves around the blocks, around Aquila in general, like the way Yoshidora moves is a miracle, but the way he moves around Aquila especially is just incredible. Aquila blows him up for every single hit. Just like the dynamic of Yoshi Steve is super interesting, and it's like most times, honestly, when you're watching a Japanese tournament, it's like, okay, Aquila should have this one. Yoshidora is the only person that gives me an inkling consistently, which is just so cool. And that you know that these players play each other a ton, like are like really comfortable against each other, because Aquila used Aegis against Yoshidora to beat him because he wasn't feeling Steve. Yoshidora had the Steve down so packed that Aquila bust out the Aegis and he won. He won off just like obviously being amazing, but like the type of set where you can bring out your like super strong secondary and do amazing because you know the player that well and you're able to exploit habits like that, I think are just like some of the best head-to-heads in Ultimate. And Aquila Yoshidora is, in my opinion, the best Japanese head-to-head and the 4th best one in the world. Now, the next 3 head-to-heads all have Leo in them. Spoilers, but like, hey, he's super fun to watch, and people adapting to him is also incredibly fun to watch. And the first one is going to be Esam versus MKLeo. I'm not gonna lie, I have a little bit of nostalgia bias here, mainly because specifically their set at Gommel was one of the biggest reasons that I got into competitive Smash in general. That set was just so amazing to watch, absolutely incredible. The level of play, like Pikachu Lucina, was so sick, and then they followed it up with another amazing set, Shine, where they went again 3-2. Then Summit, amazing set. Esam reverse 3-0's Leo, even though he's playing Marth, but still, it's reverse 3-0 on Leo. And then Genesis, another amazing set. Leo gets the win. And then Konami Code Esam double eliminates him to win his second major ever, or in Ultimate. Like, it is just such an incredible head-to-head. The way they play around each other is also super interesting, because Leo is like this perfect spacing devil who will go for like the Schrodinger's hitbox, and Esam is someone that is more often than not picking the risky option, like high reward, high value, or at least it feels like it is when he plays Leo, because he knows how to play around Joker so incredibly well. Like, the way he punishes Joker is one of the best in the world. He gimps him off stage a ton. Like, in the neutral, he's really good against him. He uses T-Jolts just incredibly. Like, the way Esam just plays this matchup is so interesting, and it's obviously a losing matchup for Joker, and the way that Leo adapts around Pikachu is it's just such a good dynamic. And this option between Esam most of the time going for these risky options, trying to kill Leo super early, punish him, and then Leo calm and collected, and then he throws something out that's incredible, and Esam's just like, yeah, you got it. That it's just they're so hype all the time, absolutely amazing. It's a shame they haven't played in a year. I hope they play again. I don't know when it would be. Maybe Esam gets that Panda Cup spot and they get seeded against each other. That's my dream, but anytime they play, it is just unreal. And this is probably someone that we would see Leo use the Joker against, because the other two matchups, Aegis and Byleth, are much worse. So yeah, I think this is something that's going to continue to be hype. Every set they played has been hype, and I just can't wait to see the next one. Now, the second best head-to-head, in my opinion, is going to be Mars versus MKLeo. Their set at Genesis 7 alone is one of the best sets, actually the best set in my opinion, that has ever happened in Ult, and makes it their head-to-head top 5. And then the main stage set, both of them also make it top 5. And then the Shine SmashCon sets, also every single set that they play is so hype, and watching the adaptation between these players is just incredible. Leo has taken it the last 2 times they have played, which was it's been a while since they played Low Tide City, because they just haven't been running into each other in bracket. It's the bracket that Mars does well in, Leo's not there, and the bracket that Leo does well in, which is most of them, granted. Mars underperforms or is on the other side of bracket. It's just they haven't played each other in a very long time. I hope they play each other at the Panda Cup, because that is definitely a possibility, and I just think that'd be super sick. But Leo and Mars, specifically Leo Mars Joker, that's when I loved it the most, was just incredible. Mars knew Joker, the Joker matchup, I think the best in the world, and he also knew Leo at that time the best in the world, at least in the game. The way that they played each other, Mars would call out things that, again, no one would call out. It feels like Mars would punish options that Leo just seemingly didn't have against other people. Habits that, just kind of appeared, Mars would start punishing. And you could see, specifically, especially is what I meant to say, but we get there, at that Genesis set that we're watching right now, because, of course, it had to be this one, you see things that Mars will just go for these hard calls, these frame second options to punish Leo, and then Leo, of course, he's so solid, so hard to beat, and this timeline as well just especially makes me love it. Heart of the battle, Mars wins the reset, or Leo wins the reset, and then Mars gets one on the grand final, so they're 1-1 there. And then here are some locals, they go pretty even, and then Gobble, Mars wins it in an incredibly close set, and then Smash and Slash and CEO, Leo wins 2 in a row, and Mars brings out the Falcon at Smash, or at CEO, and then Mars clearly figured something out at Smash Factor, because he wins both grands and winners finals there. The winners finals set especially was absolutely incredible, and then Leo's like, okay, none of that. SmashCon and Shine, he kind of bodies Mars both times, honestly. And then main stage, Mars brings out the Mega Man, and he beats Leo with Mega Man. And then Leo later in the bracket says, nah, that ain't count, and he gets the run back. Ultimate Summit 2, Leo was just kind of schmooving that tournament, and Mars, he fell fate to it. And then Genesis, Mars was schmooving that tournament, and Leo fell fate to it. These guys are so even, or they used to be so incredibly even. Obviously, Leo has definitely pulled ahead right now, because he is just unreal. But yeah, their sets are just always electric, so hype. The spacing between them is incredible, because, again, Leo is the best spacer in the world, and Mars is the best champion your facer in the world. The way he just moves around Leo, and the way Leo, spaces around Mars' movement, it's just it's like watching artwork. It is just absolutely incredible. And the only reason that it's not number 1 is because, goddamn, the storyline for number 1 is just so good. But Genesis 7, Grand Finals, I'll say it again, I'll say it in other videos too, this is my favorite set of all time. Just the level of play is absolutely incredible. But without further ado, let us move on to the best set, or the best head-to-head rather, at least in my opinion, in Smash. Now, here we have it. the tried and true, the greatest head-to-head in Smash Ultimate that I think most people saw coming. That is, of course, MKLeo versus Tweak. This is by far my favorite storyline in Smash Ultimate. It starts off with Tweak winning twice at Frostbite. Tweak is the best player in the world to start. Oh my g, oh my g. Then Genesis comes, now Leo's the best in the world. And then Leo doesn't drop another set until Smash Summit 3, which is a quarantine later and a character change later. Tweak has never beaten Joker's Leo. And the only time he's come close, well, I mean, he was actually coming pretty close at both Congo Saga winners, grands, and losers. Like, by the way, Tweak and Leo have 2 sets in my top 5. They have the Congo Saga set, grand finals, and winners. Honestly, it's like, I forget which one exactly happened. But one of those sets is definitely, like, in the top 5. And then this Summit set right here is in the top 5. Their level of play is just so high. They know each other so well in the game. Like, they just, like, it's crazy. Leo will exploit Tweak super well. He'll get into his head, like, the most I've seen out of any player, especially, again, during this era right here. Like, this Evo set was absolutely legendary. This is one of the greatest Smash sets just in history throughout all games. Like, Leo's Game 4 is obviously, it's a legend for a reason, and it started at this tournament. Just, like, there's so much cool stuff, and the characters spanning throughout it. Like, we have Aegis, we have Byleth, we have Joker, we have Wario, we have Wolf, we have Diddy, we have PT, we have Donkey Kong and Sephiroth, but they count about the same amount. Like, there's just so much cool history between every single set they play, and now it's arguably, when they play next, it's going to be the most interesting it's been for a while, because we have Leo, who's at the top of his game. Like, I mean, he has been the best, but he proved himself to be the best at Ludwig's Invitational, like, dominantly. And we have Sun God Tweak just coming off that port priority win. Like, he's playing hot. If he can carry that momentum into Apex, there, and then into Panda Cup, into Smash World Tour. Actually, I don't even know if he'll be in Smash World Tour. Kind of sucks. But it's just gonna be sick. I'm so excited for the next time they play, and I have to imagine it is Leo's Joker, because, again, Tweak has never beat the Joker, but it's also never been Joker PT or Joker Diddy. I don't actually know how bad that matchup is, so maybe it doesn't happen. But anything could happen with Leo Tweak. You literally never know who's going to win. And in a Leo set, that's hard to say, because usually you know who's going to win. But this one is so ambiguous, and that is why it is, in my opinion, the best head-to-head in Smash Ultimate. And I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to sub, all the yada yada. If there's a head-to-head that I forgot, or that you deserve to be, or you think deserves to be in the top 5, please let me know down below. I'm actually super genuinely curious to see which sets most people enjoyed. Most of these sets, granted, are like nostalgia for me, just like remembering when I was first getting into Smash. These are like the sets that I was watching that were just like super hype, and now they still continue to be amazing. And then obviously we have our honorable mentions list here. If you think more sets should have been on here, please let me know down below. I'll have like a pinned comment or something, and then like we'll just have a discussion down there, because I'm just genuinely curious. And again, thank you guys for watching. Support has been unreal lately. Yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.